Good day to you. This is teacher Leland, Alejandro, and we're going to discuss today quadratic informed polynomials. We're going to see the problem set on the other screen. So let us check the problem set over here, and there are 10 numbers to solve. Okay, we're going to have these quadratic informed polynomials, and we will solve one by one. Let us see the first number. So this is the presentation view. So find all roots, and we will start with the given. So let me write the given first. So this is x to the fourth plus 2x squared minus 63 is equal to 0. Okay, we can use the substitution w. So let w be equal to x squared. And we can now replace the x to the fourth with the w. Okay, first we will rewrite this. X squared squared plus 2 times x squared minus 63 is equal to 0. And then we will use now the substitution x squared equals w. So this is w squared plus 2 times w minus 63 is equal to 0. Now we're going to do factoring here. The factors of 63, 7, and 9. So we have w and w. And we have the factors 9 and 7. So we have a positive middle term 2w. That means we need to make the 9 positive and the 7 negative. And so this will now be the factors. Equate each factor to 0. W minus 7 is equal to 0. W plus 9 is equal to 0. Now solve each equation and solve for w. So add 7 to both sides. And w is equal to 7. Now w is equal to 7. We can now use the substitution x squared. So this is x squared equals 7. And then we extract the square root. This is square root of x squared, and this is square root of 7 plus or minus. And we have the first two values, x is equal to plus or minus square root of 7. There. So let's proceed to the other one. W plus 9 is equal to 0. We will use subtraction property. And w is equal to negative 9 there. Now w is x squared. And this is equal to negative 9. And then extract the square root. We shall continue over here. We have x squared is equal to negative 9. Extract the square root. This is plus or minus. X is equal to plus or minus. That's a negative 9. So we're going to encounter imaginary. Okay. So we will have 3i. Okay. So square root of 9 is 3. The square root of negative 1, that's imaginary there. So we have the roots. Okay. So the roots are, all right, we have square root of 7. We have negative square root of 7. We have 3i and negative 3i there. Okay, these are the answers. Let us check and verify. Okay, and that looks the same as ours. Okay. So these are the computer's answer. That means we are correct. Okay. Square root of 7, negative square root of 7, 3i, and negative 3i. Let's proceed to the second number. Okay, here's the second number. Find all roots. X to the fourth plus 2x squared minus 8 is equal to 0. Let us write the given. This is x to the fourth plus 2x squared minus 8 is equal to 0. Okay, again, we can use the substitution. We can use any substitution letter, say u, okay? So we let u is equal to x squared, and we will rewrite our equation x squared squared. That takes care of x to the fourth plus 2 times x squared minus 8 is equal to 0. Okay, using now our substitution letter u, so we have u squared plus 2 times u minus 8 is equal to 0. Okay, all right, the factors are 4 and 2 for 8. Okay, that means 4 times 2 is 8, and we get the difference of 4 and 2, which is the middle term, which is the 2. Okay, so we can use 4 and 2. Okay, so we will have the two groups. This is u and u. This is 4 and 2. There. The middle term is positive, so we will make the higher positive and the smaller negative. Okay, this is factoring. Okay, getting the factors of the quadratic expression. All right, and so we shall now continue with equation. Equate each factor to 0, and this is also u plus 4 is equal to 0. So we add, let us solve the first one. This is addition of 2, and we have the value of u, which is 2 there. Now going back to our substitution, u is x squared, so this is x squared equals 2 there. And then we get the square root, and this is plus or minus x is equal to plus or minus square root of 2. Now proceeding to the other equation, u plus 4 is equal to 0. This will now be by way of subtraction, and u is equal to negative 4. Now using our substitution x squared in place of u, and x squared is negative 4. Extract the square root now, square root of x squared and square root of negative 4 plus or minus. All right, we continue over here. X is plus or minus 2, and we have a square root of negative 1 there, so that's I. And so the roots are, these are the roots. X is square root of 2. X is negative square root of 2. X is 2i. And x is negative 2i there. Okay, so these are the answers. Let us verify from the computer. Okay, so looks correct. Okay, same as ours. All right, so that's negative 2i, the last one. Okay, number 3. Let's proceed to number 3. Find all roots of the equation x to the fourth minus 8x squared minus 9 equals 0. Start from the given. We have x to the fourth minus 8x squared minus 9 is equal to 0. Okay, substitution now. We can use any letter. Let's go back to our substitution. U, let u equals x squared. And we can now use this in our equation, but we will set the equation first. x to the fourth means x squared squared. That's x to the fourth. Then minus 8x squared is minus 8 times x squared. Minus 9 is equal to 0. Let us now use our letter u. We can now write this u squared minus 8u minus 9 equals 0. And then we can apply the factors of 9, okay? All right, what are the factors of 9? 9 times 1, 3 times 3, okay? Those are the possible factors. Now, the factors that will have a difference of 8 will be used, okay? If we use 3 times 3, we will never get an 8, okay? So we will use the 9 times 1, okay? The difference of 9 and 1 is the 8. So we can make use of 9 and 1, okay? There. And now we will set the higher negative and we will set the lower positive, giving us a difference of negative 8. So this will be equal to 0. So you can review your factoring, okay? Quadratic expressions, okay? Factoring quadratic expressions. Okay, so at this point, we will set each factor to 0 and solve. Okay, let us start with the u plus 1 equals 0. This is minus 1, minus 1. U is negative 1. And then going back to our substitution, letter u is equivalent to x squared. So this must be x squared equals negative 1. Extracting the square root of both sides. Okay, this is square root. This is square root of negative 1 plus or minus. So square root of negative 1 is imaginary. So that's I. So x is plus or minus I. There. Okay. And so we have the answers. X equals I. X negative I. So those are the two roots. We shall use the other equation u minus 9 to solve for the other two. Okay, so let us solve the u minus 9 over here. All right, so we add 9 and add 9. U is equal to positive 9. And then going back to our substitution, letter u is equal to x squared. And is equal to 9. Extracting the square roots. Square root of x squared, square root of 9 plus or minus. X is plus or minus 3. There, the square root of 9 is 3. So we have the other two. X equals 3. And x equals negative 3. And these are the roots, okay? We shall verify from the computer. Okay, so there are the roots. You can see it over here. And it matches our answers. Let's continue with the fourth. Let's continue with number 4. Here's number 4. Here's the fourth equation. Find all roots of x to the fourth plus 8x squared plus 12 is equal to 0. Let's start from the given equation. We have x to the fourth plus 8x squared plus 12 is equal to 0. All right, so again, we have x to the fourth and x squared, and they're so related by power of 2, okay? So we can write x squared equal to some letter, okay? So we're going to have now our substitution. Say we use y, okay? Or w or or a U, any letter will do, okay? Okay, so let us try the letter Y, okay? Let Y be equal to x squared, there. And so we can now make use of our equation, x squared squared, that takes care of x to the fourth, plus 8x squared is 8x squared, plus 12 is equal to 0, there. Now, using our substitution, y is equal to x squared, we can write this like y squared plus 8y plus 12 is equal to 0. And we have our quadratic equation. We can now solve by factoring. Okay. All right. What are the factors of 12? So that when we add, gives 8. Okay. All right. There are many factors for 12. Okay. 12 is 12 times 1. 12 is 2 times 6. Okay. That looks like the one we need. Okay. The factors 6 and 2 when added gives 8. All right. So how come we have to add? That's a 12 with a plus sign there. That's why we need to add this time. All right. And so we can make use of 6 and 2 for our factors. We have the grouping symbols. This is y. This is also y. This is 6 and 2 there. So these are the factors which will give a middle term 8 in the previous equation. All right, and so this will be plus and plus. We will solve each factor for y, okay? So we'll start with y plus 2 equals 0. We will equate each factor to 0. Y plus 6 equals 0. Yeah. Okay, so let us solve using the first equation. This is minus 2 and minus 2. Y is equal to negative 2. Okay, now going back to our substitution, y is equal to x squared, so this is x squared equals negative 2. And then we will extract the square root. So we have here x squared is equal to negative 2. We extract the square root, and this is plus or minus. All right, we have the first two answers. That will be plus or minus. This will be plus or minus square root of 2 imaginary. Yeah, okay? Because we have a negative 2 over there, square root of negative 2. So we will have imaginary there. Okay, let's proceed to y plus 6 equals 0. This is minus 6 and minus 6. Y is equal to negative 6 there. Okay, going back to our substitution, y is equal to x squared. We can now substitute back. X squared is negative 6. And then we get the square root. All right, square root and square root plus or minus. X is plus or minus square root of 6 imaginary. There. Okay, so we now have the all the 4 roots are now solved. Okay, we can enumerate it here. The roots are square root of 2i The other one is negative square root of 2i. Next one is square root of 6i. And the last one is negative square root of 6i. There. Now let us check from the computer. Okay. So we have here the roots. Okay. That's square root of square root of 2i or I square root of 2, that's the same. Actually, that is being multiplied, okay? So I square root of 2 and square root of 2i is the same, okay? All right. So we have the answers correct, okay? They're all the same. You can write the I in front, okay? Same thing. All right, and so we are correct. These are the roots of the equation. All right, computer's answer over here. All right, let's continue with the next. Let's continue with the next. Let me clear the screen first. Continue with number 5. Okay, here's number 5 equation. Find all roots of the equation x to the 4th minus 6x squared plus 8 equal to 0. So again, we shall begin with a given x to the 4th minus 6x squared plus 8 is equal to 0. Okay, you have here x to the 4th minus 6x squared plus 8 is equal to 0. Again, this is similar to the previous 4 problems in which we can use a letter for substitution. Let's go back to our w, okay? Let w equals x squared. And then we will rewrite our given equation starting with x to the 4th, which is equivalent to x squared squared, that's x to the 4th, minus 6x squared plus 8 is equal to 0. Okay, using now the w, this is now w squared minus 6w plus 8 is equal to 0. Again, we can get the factors of 8 here. That will give us a total of 6. The factors of 8, 4 times 2, that's 8, okay? 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 plus 2 is 6. So those are the right numbers. We shall get the factors over here. We shall use the 4 and 2. And this must be both negative, okay, like that. When you multiply two negative numbers, it gives you the positive 8, okay? But when you add these two numbers, negative 2 and negative 4, it's a negative 6. So these are the right factors. All right, solving for each, equate each factor to 0. And then solving for w, let's start with the first one. W minus 2 equals 0. We add 2. And w is positive 2. After which we can solve for the x. Replacing w with x squared equals 2. And then extracting the square root, get the square root of both sides. This will be plus or minus square root of 2. And x is equal to plus or minus square root of 2. Okay, proceeding to the other one, w minus 4 is equal to 0. Let me check that found. Okay, w minus 4 is equal to 0. We shall solve this by way of addition. Let's add 4. And add 4, w is 4. And then substitute now x squared in place of w. So x squared is 4. And then we proceed with the square root. Square root of 4 and square root of x squared. This is plus or minus. And square root of 4 is exactly 2. So x is plus or minus. Plus or minus 2. All right, so let's enumerate our answers. We have for the roots, okay, we have for the roots x, we have square root of 2, negative square root of 2, positive 2 and negative 2. All right, let us verify from the computer. Okay, looks the same with our answers. Okay, there is the solution set and exactly what we have over here. All right, so that gives our roots for our number 5 equation. Continue with number 6. Let me clear the screen and proceed to number 6. Okay, here's number 6. Find all roots of x to the fourth minus 7x squared minus 8 equals 0. Let's write our equation first. The given equation is x to the fourth minus 7x squared minus 8 is equal to 0. Again, we have the same format since the first number. We shall use the same substitution method. So let us use again w. Okay, let w equals x squared. And we shall rewrite x to the fourth like x squared squared. That's x to the fourth minus 7 x squared minus 8 is equal to 0. Okay, using now the substitution, we will now be using the w and then squared minus 7w minus 8 is equal to 0. Okay. What are the factors of 8 when subtracted gives 7? That would be 8 and 1. Okay, 8 times 1 is 8. So the factors are w and w, 8 and 1. All right, this is negative, this is positive. There. All right, that should be the right factors. Okay, product is negative 8. The combination when added, that gives a negative 7w for the middle term. Okay, you can just review your factoring. Okay, factoring quadratic expression. All right, at this point, we shall equate each factor to 0 there and solve for w. So let us start with w plus 1. We add a negative 1 or subtract 1. And so this will turn out w equals negative 1. And then we will use the substitution back, okay, back to x squared. Okay, so x squared replacing w is equal to negative 1. And then we apply square roots. So the square root of x squared, the square root of negative 1, this is plus or minus square root of negative 1. Square root of negative 1 is imaginary I. And so this will continue with x equal to plus or minus I. Stands for imaginary there. Okay, we can now proceed to the other equation. W minus 8 is 0. Solve for w first. By way of adding 8, we get w is equal to 8. And then back to our substitution, w is x squared, which is equal to 8. And then we extract the square root. So x squared square root and then square root of 8 plus or minus, this will be x is equal to plus or minus 2 square root of 2. Okay, that's the square root of 8. All right, let us explain why it's 2 square root of 2. Square root of 8 is square root of 4 times 2. There. And you can split the radical. This is square root of 4 times square root of 2. And square root of 4 is 2. Square root of 2 remains square root of 2. That's why we have square root of 8 is equal to 2 square root of 2. Okay? And so we have the roots. Our roots will be, we have 4. Okay. All right. Let us do it over here. We have x equal to I. Also, x is negative I. X is, how much is that? 2 square root of 2. And x is also negative 2 square root of 2. There. We have 4. Okay. It's a 4th degree equation, so expect for real numbers or complex numbers with imaginary parts. Okay. And so these are the roots for equation for number 6. Let's verify from the computer. Okay, these are from the computer's database, and you can compare it to our answers, and looks the same as ours. Okay, there. Okay, so we have all of them correct. Okay, 2 square root of 2, negative 2 square root of 2, positive I, and negative I. All right, that goes to our number 6. Let's proceed to number 7. Let me clear the screen. Here is number 7. Find all roots x to the 4th plus 2x squared minus 48. Let us start from the given. Here's the given equation, x to the 4th plus 2x squared minus 48 is equal to 0. Okay, we have here 48. It's a negative. That means we can get the middle term 2. Okay, since this is negative, we can get the middle term 2 by way of subtracting the factors. Okay, all right, let us enumerate the factors of 48. 48 is 1 times 48. 48 is equal to 2 times 24. Also, 48 is equal to 3 times 16. Also, 48 is equal to 4 times 12. What else? Can we use 5? No. All right. 5 is not a factor. So let us try 6. 48 is equal to 6 times 8. All right. That will be all. All right. No more. These are the integral factors. And the two numbers which will give us a difference of 2 is the last pair. Okay. There. That's 8 minus 6. It's 2. Okay. All the other combinations will not give 2. Okay. 48 minus 1 is 47. 24 minus 2 is 22. 16 minus 3, that's 13. 12 minus 4, that's 8. Okay, so the last one is what we will be using. All right, so we can make use of those two numbers. Okay, we will use the substitution again. Say we let u equal to x squared, and we can rewrite our equation x squared squared plus 2 times x squared minus 48 is equal to 0. Okay, so this is now u squared plus 2 times u minus 48 is equal to 0. We shall now make use of the 6 and the 8. So we will have two grouping symbols here, two pairs. This is u and u. This is 8 and 6. All right, that's a positive middle term 2u. We shall make the 8 the positive and the 6 the negative. There. And these are the factors. And you can always check this by multiplying, okay? Multiplying these two to verify the factors are correct, okay? All right, so you can check You can always check your factoring. Okay. Now, how do you check? You can always multiply. U times U, U squared, U times 8, that's positive 8U. And then you multiply it here. 6 negative times U is a negative 6U. And then negative 6 times 8, it's a negative 48. There. And when you simplify this gives you U squared plus 2U minus 48 equals 0. The middle term here gives you a positive 2U. And you will notice it returns back to that part. So that means the factors U minus 6 and the other one U plus 8 are the right factors. So this is just checking. So we shall proceed to our solution. Let me erase the checking, okay? We are just checking it in that part. All right, let us continue with our solution. We will equate each factor now to 0. And this is U plus 8 equal to 0. There. All right, solve for U first. So this is by way of, let's start with the first equation. This is plus 6 and plus 6. Our U is positive 6. And then we go back to our substitution. Our U is equal to x squared. So this is x squared is equal to 6. Extract the square root of both sides. Square root of x squared and square root of 6. This is plus or minus. And we have the roots. X is equal to plus or minus square root of 6. Okay, going to the other equation, U plus 8, we shall subtract 8 from both sides, and our U is equal to negative 8 there. And then we replace our U by our substitution, okay? That letter U is x squared. So we will return the original variable x squared in place of U, and this is equal to negative 8. All right, get the square root of x squared and the square root of negative 8. Again, this is plus or minus. Okay, square root of 8 is 2 square root of 2. So that means x is equal to plus or minus, okay, 2 square root of 2, but there's a negative 8 there. So that means we have imaginary, the I. So we will write this 2 square root of 2 I. Or you can insert the I after the integer. So that this is plus or minus 2I square root of 2. Okay, same thing. After all, they are being multiplied. 2 times I times square root of 2. All right, and so we can now enumerate our answers, our roots. Okay, our first is square root of 6. The other one is negative square root of 6. The third is 2I square root of 2. And the last one is negative 2I square root of 2. There. So these are our answers. Let us check from the computer. Okay, there you are. Looks the same, okay? Over here. Our 4 answers are all there, okay? Well, in a different order, but that doesn't matter. All right, let's have number 8. Let's have number 8. Here's number 8. All right, find all roots of the equation x to the fourth plus 13x squared plus 36 is equal to 0. Let us start from the given. Okay, we have here x to the fourth plus 13x squared plus 36 equals 0. All right, so we have x to the fourth again and x squared, and we shall reduce this to squared and first degree. So we shall use a substitution letter. So let u is equal to x squared, and then rewrite our given equation x squared squared plus 13x squared plus 36 equals 0 there. Okay, so we shall now use our letter u. So this is now u squared plus 13u plus 36 is equal to 0. Now, what are the factors of 36 when added gives 13? Let's find out. 36 is 1 times 36. Also, 36 is 2 times 18. What else? 36 is 3 times 12. What else? 4 times 9. Yes, 4 times 9. 36 is 4 times 9. Anything else? We cannot use 5, right? We cannot use 5. 36 is not divisible by 5. And so we shall skip 5. We shall continue with 6. And 6 times 6, okay? 6 times 6 is 36. And no more, okay? All right. No more factors for 36. 7 cannot be. 8, 9, we have used up the 9. So higher than that, no more. All right, so let's determine the pair when added gives 13. Okay, I already found it. It's over here. There. When added, 9 and 4 added is 13. So we shall use 9 and 4. Okay, all right, let's get the factors. These are the factors. This is u, and this is 9 and 4. Now, the signs, of course, will all be plus. There are no negatives in our previous equation. So this is it. And so we will have the factors u plus 4 equal to 0. The other one is u plus 9 equal to 0. We're going to solve this separately. Okay, u plus 4 is equal to 0. Let's start there. By way of subtraction property, we get u is equal to negative 4. Okay. All right, let's continue with the substitution. Letter u is also x squared. So we're going to return back to x. So this is now replaced with x squared. And this is equal to negative 4. All right, to get the x, we extract the square root. Square root of x squared and square root of negative 4. And this must be plus or minus. Okay, that negative 4 will give us imaginary. Okay, so this will continue with x equal to plus or minus. The square root of 4 is exactly 2. But there's a negative there. So that means there's a square root of negative 1. So this is with imaginary there. So we have plus or minus 2i. Okay, that will be the first two roots. We will now be using the other equation, u plus 9 equal to 0 over here. So we will solve this by way of subtraction. Subtract 9. And we get the u equals negative 9. Now going back to our x, our letter u is supposed to be equal to x squared, and this is equal to negative 9. And so we will have square root of x squared and the square root of negative 9. And this is again plus or minus. Okay, so the square root of x squared is x. And again, we have a negative 9. So we will have imaginary here again. So the square root of 9 is 3. And square root of negative 1 is imaginary. So we will have 3i. And so this is plus or minus 3i. There. And so we have our 4 roots. We shall write it over here at the corner. So our first value x is 2i. Next is negative 2i. Next is 3i. And then the last one is negative 3i. And we have the required roots of the equation. All right, let us verify our answers. Let us see if we have the same. Okay. Yes, they are the same with our answers. All right, there. So this must be the correct roots of the equation. Okay. Again, we're solving quadratic in form. Polynomials, okay, quadratic in form. Okay, so let us continue with our next. Number 9, let's clear the screen. Let's continue with our next. All right, here's the next. Find the value of x. What are the solutions of the quadratic equation? X minus 3 squared minus 11 times the quantity x minus 3 plus 30 is equal to 0. How come this is quadratic in form? How come this is quadratic in form? Well, you can see that x minus 3 in parentheses and the other one, another x minus 3. And so, making use of the similarity, we can make use of one letter in place of x minus 3. So that from the given, okay, let us write first the given. We have the given equation in quadratic form. So x minus 3 squared minus 11 times the quantity x minus 3 plus 30 is equal to 0. There. Okay, we're talking about that x minus 3 in one piece. So we can assign a letter. Say let u be equal to x minus 3, like that. And so our equation will become, okay, our equation will become, okay, looking at the given, okay, over here, that will now be x minus 3 squared, okay, that will become u squared, there. And then to continue, this is minus 11 x minus 3. We shall continue with minus 11, okay, x minus 3 is u. All right, and then we continue with plus 30 equals 0, and this is plus 30 equals 0. There. And we have a single letter quadratic equation over here. There. Okay, just changing the x minus 3 with the letter u. And so we can now solve this again by methods that we know for solving quadratic equation, either by factoring, by quadratic formula, or completing the square. Okay, those are some of the methods. Okay, this we shall try factoring the factors of the 30. Okay, all right. Again, what are the factors of 30? Okay, being with the sign of plus, what are the factors of 30? Okay, let's find out. 30 is 1 times 30. 30 is also 2 times 15. Also 30 is 3 times 10. 30 is equal to, can we use 4? No. All right, so we will jump to 5, okay? And 5 times 6 is also 30. All right, and we exhaust, we already used up all the possible integral factors. Which one shall give us a sum of 11? Okay, from the first factor here, 1 and 30, the sum is 31. Okay, the sum here is 31. 1 and 30 is 31. The sum here is 15 plus 2, that's 17. Okay, how about the third? The sum of 3 and 10, that's 13. Okay, the last one, 5 plus 6, that's 11. Okay, there. And so we're going to use the last one. Okay, we will be using the 5 and 6. And so the factors from there, we will have the factors. Okay, we shall now have the factors u, and then 5 and 6. And they will have to be both negative there. Okay, that shall be our factors. All right, and so we shall solve each. Okay, and solve for u first. This is u minus 6 equals 0. And this is u minus 5 equals 0. Okay, solving for u, from the first equation, we add 6 to both sides. If you add 6 and add 6, your value for u is 6. There. And the other one, if you add 5 and add 5, your value there is a 5. There. Okay, we're after the x, not the u. Okay, and so we're going back to our substitution here. Here's our substitution. Our letter u is equal to x minus 3. So we shall replace our letter u with x minus 3. All right, so this is now u equals 6. This will now be x minus 3 equals 6. There. And then we shall solve for x. Okay, so by way of adding 3 and adding 3 there, x happens to be a positive 9. There. Okay. All right. How about the u equals 5? We shall replace u again with our x minus 3. So there is x minus 3 equals 5. And then we shall add 3. And add 3. Our x happens to be positive 8. Okay. All right. This must be the answers. Our x is 8. And the other one, other value is x equals 9. Let us verify from the computer. Okay, here's the computer's answer. Okay, x equals 8 and x equals 9. In any order, those are the values. Okay, and those are our answers too. Okay, for our last number, let's continue with number 10. Let's clear the board. Let's continue with number 10. Okay, here's number 10. What is the solution of the equation x minus 2 squared plus the quantity x minus 2 minus 12 is equal to 0? Use W substitution and the quadratic formula to solve. Okay, so we're asked to use 2 methods. Okay, actually 1 method will do. Okay, all right. So let us try both. Okay, let us see how we can do both of the solution. Use W substitution, and the quadratic formula to solve. Well, we can try the quadratic formula to arrive at the answers, and we can use the W for the substitution. Okay, all right, so yes, all right, let's have the given first. So from the given equation, okay, here is x minus 2 squared, all right, plus x minus 2 minus 12 is equal to 0. According to the instruction, we shall make use of W. So we will let W be equal to x minus 2 there. And then where you see in the equation the x minus 2, you replace it with W. Okay? All right. So x minus 2 squared, let us have the equation over here. Okay? X minus 2 squared plus the quantity x minus 2 minus 12 is equal to 0. There. All right. According to our substitution, our x minus 2 is equal to W. So this will become W squared plus W minus 12 equals 0. There. Okay. And we have this simpler equation, W squared plus W minus 12. Okay. And we're asked to solve it using a formula. Okay. All right. So we shall use this formula. W is equal to negative B plus or minus square root of B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. This is known as the quadratic formula. All right. Where is our ABC? The coefficients of our equation over here. The coefficients of W squared, W, and the negative 12. All right. From there, we can get our ABC. A is 1. Okay. That's the coefficient of, that's the numerical coefficient of W squared. Okay. The middle term W has positive 1. And we will call that B. And of course, the constant is a negative 12. There. Okay. All right. So you should review your quadratic equation and how to use it. All right. There is a 1 here. There is also a 1 here. And that's a negative 12. Okay. All right. That's just to show you the coefficients. All right. All right. Let us now use the formula and use our ABC. Okay. So this will now be W is equal to a long line of division there. Negative of the 1 plus or minus. Our B squared means 1 squared. And then minus 4 times A. Our A is just positive 1 times our C. It's a negative 12. There. Okay. All right. So we continue with the denominator 2A means 2 times A, which means 2 times 1. There. All right. Simplification. Further simplification. We have the long division symbol. We have minus 1 plus or minus, and we have 1 squared is 1. We have negative 4 and negative 12. The product is positive. And 4 times 12 is 48. And this is divided by 2 times 1, which is only 2. There. Okay, to continue with this over here, this is W. This is now negative 1 plus or minus square root of 49 over 2. And this continues -1 plus or minus square root of 49 is exactly 7 over 2. All right, we're going to have two values here. Okay, one value is -1 plus 7 over 2. Okay, the other one is -1 minus 7 over 2. Okay, the first W over here gives 3. Okay, -1 plus 7 is 6. 6 over 2 is 3. Okay, so that's the first value of W. How about the other one? -1 minus 7, it's -8. -8 divided by 2 is -4. So our second value is -4. All right. After getting these values of W, we're going back to our substitution over here. W is x minus 2. So we will be using 3 in place of W. So we shall have this equation on the left side of the screen. W is equal to x minus 2. We shall now use 3 for our W. So this is 3 equals x minus 2. Okay, after solving for x, we will get x equal to 5. Okay, this will be x equal to 5 there. Okay, how about the other one? The substitution is W is equal to x minus 2. Our other value for W is -4. So we shall replace W with -4 equals x minus 2. Okay. All right. And so when we solve for x here, we will get -2. And these are the answers. Okay. X equals 5 and x equals -2. Let us check and verify from the computer. Okay, here's the computer's answer. Let us shrink the question so we can see it clearly. We can shrink that. Okay, we can shrink this there. All right, some more. Okay, let us see the answer. Okay, over here. There, x equals 5 and x equals -2. All right, that's it. We were able to discuss all 10 numbers, and I hope you were able to learn the method for quadratic inform polynomials. Okay, quadratic inform polynomials. All right, so you can always see the explanations, okay, by looking at the other numbers. You can just rewind our video and see the other numbers again. All right, so this will be all for now, and see you later. I hope you were able to learn something. Okay, so see you later. That will be it, and we will discuss another lesson next time.